Rise of Kingdoms just released a note that said they are planning on planning 30-day gem supply bundle with auto barbing, and I think it's actually kind of smart. But what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Channel Musu Gaming here, and today I'm here to talk about, basically read over the face-to-face with the developers hot topics Q&A, which was a mail that was sent to everyone in Rise of Kingdoms about 6 hours ago. I was awake at the time. I don't know why I didn't take a look at it, because I was awake at 2 a.m. in the morning, and that's what I do nowadays. But anyways, let's just go ahead and read through this. Blah blah blah. The intro is nice, but I'm gonna skip that over. But question number one. This is basically frequently asked questions, and then how Lilith feels and plans on kind of responding to each and every one of them. But question number one: how long will it be before auto barbing and auto help will go live? And will these features be usable immediately? So now there are two important parts about this. I think auto barbing, auto peacekeeping is basically auto barbing, auto forwarding, and then auto helping is actually one of the key things that I think a lot of people were asking for. And I think it's a smart move that they're actually adding this, because man, you just see my action bar right now is full. And and like when I fall asleep, this is basically what happens. And then I always have my action points full, and I just hate to see that all the time. And the fact that you'll be able to kind of auto barb for at least, I think that would be really, really smart. And then auto help will go help a long way for people who are starting off the game, especially people who need like help like right away if they're trying to upgrade their city hall, which was just happening for my restart account. But yeah, those are very useful features. But answers basically said auto peacekeeping, auto help, and auto chat translation, which we didn't know about, will be added as extra perks for purchasing 30-day gem supply. We plan on pioneer testing these features in select kingdoms after 1.0.98 update. Okay, so I know everyone who's watching this video might be going outrageous about this section, this particular section, because it says Lilith is considering pairing the 30-day gem supply, which is actually $10 bundle that is purchasable every single month, and you get a bunch of gem value out of it. And that's going to be paired to auto barbing, which is the most important feature of this. Now, here's the thing. I think it's actually really smart that they're pairing this with the $10 bundle. It's simple. Because for one, let's just take a look at the map right now. And there's a bunch of barbs that are, this is my current KVK map. There's a bunch of barbs that are actually in the field, open field right now. And there are some people who are actually barb chaining. But imagine everyone, including all their farms, had the auto barb, auto peacekeeping, whatever you like to call it, like enabled in the game. Then all of those barb clusters and everything are gonna be gone, like permanently, because everyone will be sending out their barb farming marches that basically kills all the barbs every time they have extra points, right? So that's what I would assume that the auto barb like farming feature, auto peacekeeping feature would actually be. And yeah, there will be actually no barbarians left, quite frankly, be honest with you, if everyone was able to do this, including the farms. So I think by pairing this with 30-day gem supply, I think Lilith does a kind of a smart move here, so that we still will see a lot of barbs that are out there, for one. And two, we don't let the auto farms kind of go, like, actually make progress. Like, for example, like, let's say I'm raising like 5 different farms, 7 different farms, and I have like auto barb farm on all the time because they're free, right? Imagine how much faster that those farm accounts can actually get raised, and without your actual investment and time actually put into raising that account. Like, and imagine all those people who are raising their account to a certain level and they're selling, like actually getting enough gems, enough speed ups, and whatever you like to call it, for that for them actually having just auto barb feature on all the time. So what I think Lilith is trying to do is that yes, this is a quality of life feature, and I see the need of this, but I think it is smarter for everyone who is operating their main to actually get the Barb feature only, right? Because the 30 day gem supply, let's just face it, uh, everyone's buying this, right? Everyone who is running their main is buying this. If you're not buying this as for your main, like for one, you're either free to play or uh you're just not spending in the right places, right? And if you are free to play, I think that's gonna be another kind of issue that a lot of people will be mentioning, right? Oh yeah, but then all the pay to win players are gonna get the auto bar feature. No, if you're actually one of those competitive free to play players, you're actually on Rise of Kingdoms and trying to barb chain or AoE bar farm every single hour that you're on. So if every single one of us who are running the main accounts, as well as every single one of their farms, are killing all those barbs that are on the open field right now, it actually, in my opinion, and I could be wrong on this, but in my opinion, it actually will hurt the free to play, like active free to play players who are trying to get as much value out of Barb AoE bar farming and AoE the barb chaining at the end of the day. Because if you go to peacekeeping, this is what we do, right? Like we send out marches and then just kill barb farm. And then we try to get as much crystal speed ups, EXP, and gems as much as possible by doing this, right? So that, hey, I can, especially for free to play players who are actively bar farming, I can close the gap between pay to win players and free to play players as much as possible by doing this as much as I can, as many hours as I can put on this. So I think by limiting the number of accounts that actually will be auto bar farming, by setting this 30-day gem supply pairing on there, I think it would actually help the active free to play players rather than hurting them. Is my opinion. So yeah, so those are my opinions. And if you guys think it differently, I think it's fine. Because just right off the bat, if you just see this, you're gonna be thinking like, hey, like that's actually bad for free to play players. And my opinion is not really, because then they'll not have barbarians on the field to kill because all those farms are going out to kill barbarians all of a sudden as soon as they have like 40 action points generated, right? And it's gonna bother them so much, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. I could be wrong, but that's just how it looks like. Yeah, there's no reason for them to pair this other than that, is my opinion. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on to question number 2. But yeah, this was the biggest thing. The auto bar feature and then answering their plan with it. I think it's a good plan. You might not think it initially, but I think it's a good plan. All right, move on to question number 2. I would like the ranking system in the Eve of the Crusade to be changed from kingdom ranking to camp rankings. That way, our camp can fight for the first place together rather than competing with each other. Yeah, I think this is very smart. I think this is also very true for what's the cave format that we play? Oh, King of All Britain, right? King of All Britain kind of has this feature in there. Whereas if you're the winning camp, you get to choose which territory that basically you want to choose. And then one of them has all damage. The other ones has like garrison damage taken and reduction and all that. And I think this is very smart. I think this is better than like if you imagine you have like 4 different kingdoms in your camp and then they're all trying to get like the top 3, top 4, whatever it is, then I don't think it's worth it. And I think if we move it to the camp wide system where it's like, oh, the first place, let's say there's four war camp, right? First place gets like 3% all damage. The second place gets 1% all damage. The third place gets like, I don't know, 5% movement speed, and then fourth place gets training speed or whatever it is, right? I think that would make more sense. But let's just go ahead and read the answer. We'll be testing out using camp ranking for the Evil Crusade in the future update. Okay, cool. So I'm glad. that they're actually considering. And I honestly think that Rise of Kingdoms has been pretty good very recently, especially because over the last course of like a year or so, I think Rise of Kingdoms has been more focusing on Rise of Kingdom and making Rise of Kingdoms the best, it already is the best, I think, city building war game that is out there. But then again, like actually finding it to be the finest game experience for everyone who's playing this game, right? But anyways, so a very good change, suggested and answered. Question number 3. Since we have conversion stones for converting armaments, I would also like some sort of conversion system or event for equipment that would allow players to try out gameplay styles, like switching from archer main to infantry main. The reason we added the answer is reason we added conversion stones for armaments is that there are constantly new formations and armaments being added, and we wanted to reduce the cost for players to try these new formations. At present, we have no new equipment plan except accessories, and equipment conversion system might actually reduce the value of accounts with multiple equipment sets for different unit types. Good answer. I 100% agree with what Rise of Kingdom said. And to add to this, you might think this, like, whoever is asking this, like, you might think this is a good system, right? But in reality, I don't think it's a good system at all. Like, for one, is now people who are whales are just gonna switch between like different troop type to main. And there's no meaning of maining a troop type at the end of the day anymore, because let's say the archers are the new hotness right now. Like right now, the Qin Shi Huang is the latest commander in the game, right? And now, like everyone who has really good wedge formation, who has basically, let's say me, I have like the best cavalry equipment set in the game, right? And then, would you really want me to just switch over to Qin Shi Huang and you see basically 50 different Qin Shi Huangs on the field, just running archer stuff? Is that really what you want to see? I don't think that's really what you want to see. You just need to think this through a little bit more carefully when you're suggesting those systems. But yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to like even consider this at all. And two, it kind of dampers all those people who actually made right investment into their equipment, right? Like, yeah, like I have this equipment set. I think this is the best equipment set that you can possibly get for cavalry. And I think I'm right, 100%. And I think it is, right? This is the best cavalry set that you can possibly give to cavalry, right? But imagine like people could just switch over between the like each different blueprints or whatnot. Like then like, okay, well, like now the value of me being right goes down significantly, right? Like I get that there's people who just made like bad decisions in the past. They're like, oh yeah, well like, yeah, like you can just switch it and then I can now have the best cavalry equipment or whatever, right? Like imagine you crafted the set pants and then the set like the gloves for cavalry, and then you're like, okay, well like I didn't know this wasn't the best. Like I get that. I get that you're kind of sad about it, but like the truth is like there, there's gotta be rewards for people who made the right decision in the past. And then I think like whatever we have currently is basically as far as it could go. Like I don't think there needs to be any change for that at all. So yeah. Uh but yeah, that's just my opinion on this part. All right, so question number 4. We are trying out the new the accelerated KPK system, but entering the Lost Kingdom immediately after the announcement is too fast. Too fast, really? I thought this was a good feature, like because you're already preparing for Lost Kingdom anyways the moment that you get Mash. So I think just getting onto the business right away so that you can start farming on higher level barbs and farm those speed ups and whatnot, I think it's smart. But okay. But we need more time for kingdom management, like diplomacy and battle preparations. Okay. Well, can't you do that on the Lost Kingdom though? You get a great leeway before that. So I don't know. Thank you for your feedback. The accelerated KVK system is currently being pioneer tested and will be incorporating player feedback before the official launch. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, there might be other features that, like, not limited to this question, right? I think this question is valid for people who feel like accelerated, whatever. But like, there will be other features that a lot of people will have opinions on the new and the latest KBK season, accelerated KBK season format. And I think the fact that the developers are taking those feedbacks into consideration is really good. The adjustments we are planning include reserving more time for diplomacy and somewhat relaxing the immigration schedule. Okay, cool. So they are kind of addressing this, but I personally like this, like the fact that they just moved on because I'm not in the kingdom leadership. Maybe if you are in the kingdom leadership, this is better. But hey, I'm not in the kingdom leadership, and I just like the fact that we were able to get into the Lost Kingdom and then just get those higher level bar farming earlier. I don't like question number 5. I don't like the current tug of war style of format. It requires too much micromanagement and isn't enjoyable, especially on mobile. I hope to see improvements or a return to the old system, which was less cumbersome. Okay. So number 5, we've been focusing on improving this issue recently. Sorry. Answer. We've been focusing on improving this issue recently. On the gameplay side of things, we've been addressing the issue by introducing new commander mechanics, revamping crystal text, and past glory buffs, adjusting how rage works, and redoing everything we can to reduce the burden of combat. On the control side of things, we've been gradually refining the mobile controls. We'll be continuing to make the combat smoother and smarter with things like attack marching and other control options. I would like to be able. Okay, cool. So that's the question number 5 answer. Um, I mean the combat style. I think like I think whatever we have is okay. And I think the way that the Lilith is actually making adjustments to, which is some things like, release of Chin and Bai Chi, was their attempt to, oh, well, even if you're going in and out of the combat, like, oh, even if you get caught, like, even if you're using Bai Chi and then you get caught, you can still do massive damage. And even if you get caught with Chen, you can still do decent damage. Even if you just come in and out of the combat 1 second, 2 seconds, and then out, you can still do enough damage with AoE autos. I think the direction that the devs are going are fine in terms of how they're adjusting the commanders, but like I think what the person who's asking this question is actually hoping for is something that I think you need to approach it with a lot more care because of the fact that for one, I think a lot of people might like your style, your preferred style. So whoever's asking this question, your preferred style combat versus the others, the current version, but a lot of people might not like your proposed style, the combat versus the current one, right? A lot of people might prefer the current version of the combat versus whatever your system, whatever the new system is. So I think changing this right now, we are all playing the current like kind of combat meta, so to speak, and I think everyone's okay with it. Most people who have stuck with Rise of Kingdoms are okay with it. So changing this, I think, is something that is of great risk, and I think they would need extensive testing before they even consider changing this. I think the approach of changing this slowly with commander releases are better than changing the style completely, like forcibly changing the style completely. All right, question number 6. I would like to be able to block or hide unnecessary UI buttons in PC version. Okay, I personally agree with that. There's a lot of buttons that I accidentally press all the time on PC. So yeah, I would personally like to see that, and then that are already bound to hotkeys that don't need to be that don't need to be displayed. At present, when the enemy approaches, it's easy to click buttons by accident instead of doing what you're supposed to. Agree. Let's see what they say about it. We're currently planning to improve the way the troop interaction buttons are displayed on PC to prevent misclick and blocking your line of sight. Okay, cool. They're making adjustments. Okay, cool. That is awesome. Let's go to question number 7. Right now, you can only remove governors from the Alliance pass list one by one, which is tedious. It will be great if you can add a batch removal feature or a quick remove feature. Okay, cool. That's for people who are in the Alliance leadership. And they said, thank you for your suggestion. We'll try to implement such features as soon as possible. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is a quick fix. So I'm assuming that, yeah, need was identified and need will be delivered. Very good. Very good. Question number 8. It's too easy to get the lowest braving the odds rating in the battles. It makes me not want to fight field battles anymore. So if you get like, if you fight the enemy, let's say you fight the enemy, then I guess the lowest one is the braving the battle. I don't know which one. I don't think I have it, uh, but yeah, it looks like if you get like the bad reports, they're just gonna say braving the odds rating in the field, and then I don't want to fight anymore. Okay, cool. What do they say about this? Is just like a complaint. They're like, oh, I'm not doing well on the field, so like I don't want to fight anymore. Fix something. And this is a very inefficient way to ask your developers for a change because this doesn't really solve anything. Yeah, like if you're in the earlier part of the game, whatever it is that like, you are not doing right in the game, then obviously you're gonna trade wars with other people. So I don't know. We're working on adjusting the categorization and presentation of battle ratings to address this issue. Okay, cool. I I I honestly think this is not even a question that is worth making this list, to be honest. But hey, if they're diversifying how they're doing this, that's good. But yeah, like yeah, you can't just ask for you can't just complain, ask, and pretend it's a question, in my opinion. But anyways, let's just go ahead and go down to the list. I fight hard in field battles, spending a lot of speed ups and resources to heal troops, but I can't get many kill points because of my poor skills or low level of development. He just identified the answer for himself, like the problem and the answer for himself. He's saying, I can't get that many kills because I have poor skills or have low level of development. Perhaps if you raise the level of development, let's say like if you're T4, if you're running just T4, if you're running T3, obviously you're gonna trade bad, but if you're running T4 only, maybe you should unlock T5 and then do it. And if you're running T3 in the unit, maybe you should unlock T4 in the unit. And for KBK1, I'm assuming. And then yeah, but your poor skills, I think you just gotta learn how to battle over time. I mean, there's people who play this game for like years and years and years now. If it's like systematic issue, I think this is like a question worth mentioning. But anyways, let's just read this through. Okay, so I don't get any recognition from the kingdom or the community. Yeah, you just said it yourself. You don't trade well. You can't get that many kills, so you don't get the recognition, obviously. And I like for the developer devs to guide players to value their contributions more like me. Okay. Interesting question. Interesting. I think what's most important, interesting, the question 8 and 9. Like honestly, like the developers didn't need to include those, but anyways, let's just go to the answer. We agree that we previously somewhat neglected factoring things like severe wounds units into players' contribution. We're now trying to design a new metric distinct from kill points, which would reflect the overall contribution of the hard fighting governors to their kingdoms in KVK battles. Um, okay, so they're trying to make a new system that can help those people. But there's already a feature, if you believe it or not. In KVK, there's something called heal points that basically tells you like how many units that you heal. There's a death points if you actually at least try to contribute to the kingdom by filling your flags a lot more or swarming whatever. Then those two actually factors in quite a lot into your contribution to the kingdom. And I think like people just need to move away from just DKP and then just take a look at heal points too. I guess that's the way for you to actually see this. But I think the game-wise system already has this. So I I don't know what they're talking about. The question 8 and 9. But yeah. Um I recognize that as a person who came from the game marketing perspective, it is very difficult to address everyone who's unhappy about the game. And I recognize your efforts. Uh, kudos for Lilith. But yeah, like you can't. Not everyone can have good trades, right? Like for example, if I'm having 321% trade, someone else out there is suffering from less than 100% trades, right? And but like yeah, you just need to find a way for you to, be better than the average. If you're trading 100% every single time, then you're an average. And if you're trading below that, you're below average. There's always, if there's 100 people in the room, there's going to be always like people who are going to be below average. There's going to be always people who are going to be above average. And I get that it feels like you're not doing anything, mainly because maybe your contributions that are not counted right now. Because if you're swarming flags, if you're filling rallies, filling flags, then all those contributions as of today are actually recognized through DKP and like the death points and whatnot, right? So I don't know. If you're looking for something beyond that, I think currently the healing points and try to convince your kingdom leadership to take a look at the heal points more might be the only way that you can actually take this. But like, hey, like, I don't know. But anyways, that's it for today's face to face with the developers note review with myself. I hope you guys actually found this really, really helpful. I kind of got annoyed at the last two questions, to be honest, but it is what it is. But anyways, if you guys did enjoy this video, please feel free to drop a thumbs up or subscribe to the channel. And as always, I'll see y'all in the next video. All right, peace.